hours, other times for days. I never knew where I went when I didn't watch. I disappeared into nothingness. The ability to leave my body scared me because I'd lose pieces of time in my life. I had no idea why I did it. It dawned on me that afternoon that maybe other people didn't have a ladder. Maybe it was only in my brain. I decided to ask my older brother Daniel about it when I got home. I hoped he'd assure me I was fine and that the same thing happened to him. Sitting cross-legged on his bed, watching him sort through his baseball cards for what seemed like the 100th time, I asked Daniel, "Do you ever forget where you are?" He looked up at me. "What do you mean?" "Like, you watch yourself do things, but you're not there? You see yourself." It was so hard to explain, but I kept trying. You know you're real, but you can't feel it? Like you float up above. He cocked his head to the side, wrinkled his forehead, and frowned. "I have no idea what you're talking about." He went back to his cards. Daniel was more than just my older brother. He was my best friend and wiser than I'd ever be. If he didn't know what I was talking about, then it meant nobody else did either, and they'd think I was a freak if I told them. I decided to keep my ability a secret. I had lots of secrets, so I figured one more wouldn't matter. But even if I kept my secrets from other people, there was no hiding from God because He was everywhere and saw everything. There was no escaping Him. He can read your thoughts. He knows what you're thinking. My mom liked to warn us kids. I'd feel ashamed because my thoughts were anything but pure like they were supposed to be. They were filled with rage. As much as I loved my brother, I also hated him for the things he did when we were left alone while Dad worked at the hospital and my mom ran errands. He'd terrorize my younger sister, Sarah, and I. He'd lock me in closets and pummel me with his scrawny fists while he sat on my chest and spat in my face. He'd force Sarah into our dark, unfinished basement and bury her inside the antique chest carried over by my ancestors from Sweden. He'd sit on top of it, listening to her screams, and I could never do anything to save her. I imagined ways to hurt him back. I wanted to be able to destroy him with my fists, the way he beat Sarah and me, but he was bigger and stronger. I wished there was a way to make him cry and spit in his face, the way he spat in mine. We tried to get him to stop, but every time we told on him, our tales were met with laughter and rebuke. "Quit being a tattletale," my dad would respond. "You kids need to learn to get along." "Daniel's an abuser," Sarah would say quietly, tears welling in her blue eyes while she stood hidden behind my legs. She was only 5 the first time she said it. I didn't know how she even knew the word. My dad found this hilarious, as if she'd just performed a stand-up comedy routine. "Oh, Sarah, you're exaggerating," he'd say through forced and purposeful laughter. His wasn't the kind of laughter that flows naturally from the belly and bursts through the mouth. His version of laughing was making noises that sounded like dry coughs while he moved his mouth in an upward sneer. The conversation always ended there. If my dad decided a matter was insignificant, then that was the end of the discussion, and, according to him, the way Daniel treated us wasn't important. I didn't dare force the issue, because each time I pushed or pressured an issue, my mom would remind me I wasn't supposed to question my dad in any way. It was our job to do as he told us, period. Over the years, my mom repeatedly instructed me that men were above us in the order of things. She explained that there was a hierarchy, with God at the top. Men were next in line, which meant that my dad was the closest thing to God. My dad had a working partnership with God, and he took his position seriously. God had rules about everything. If you broke the rules, you were a sinner, and God punished.